If you're living in the Philippines and trying to keep up with American news and sports, especially the NFL, you've probably discovered something very quickly. It's not as simple as being a customer of a cable service. Blackouts, geo-restrictions, delayed highlights, missing games, and news feeds that suddenly feel watered down are all part of the overseas experience. But here's the good news. Getting reliable, high-quality American news and full NFL coverage in the Philippines is absolutely possible if you do it the right way. The key is understanding what works here, what doesn't, and how to combine a few smart tools into one seamless setup. And this especially hits close to home for me because my Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. And it's possible that the upcoming season is when I'll finally be able to use my smart TV. Then I can DVR the games that start at 2 a.m. Philippine time and then watch those games like I'm watching them live. So I'm excited about the next NFL season here in the Philippines. I'm also looking at ways that I can get news from the USA. I'm Mike. Welcome back to my channel. Let's start with American news because it is the foundation. If you rely only on social media, you're already losing. Facebook and YouTube algorithms push localized or sensational content, not comprehensive US reporting. The best approach is direct access to US-based news organizations. Apps like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC News, NBC News, CBS News, and they all work in the Philippines, but not all of their content is created equal overseas. Live TV streams are often restricted, while written articles, clips, and on-demand segments are usually fully accessible. This means your first rule should be stop chasing live cable feeds and focus on official apps and websites for news consumption. For serious news consumers, paid subscriptions matter more overseas than they do in the US. Outlets like the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post provide complete access internationally without throttling content. These platforms don't rely on regional broadcast rights, so their reporting is consistent and reliable. The bonus is that their mobile apps are optimized well enough that even slower Philippine internet connections handle them smoothly. If you want to stay deeply informed with politics, the economy, and global affairs, this is the most frustration-free route that you can take. Now let's talk about cable-style news because this is where many expats get stuck. Services like YouTube TV, Hulu Plus Live TV, and Sling TV are designed primarily for US residents. Without additional tools, most of them won't properly work in the Philippines. This is why many people waste money subscribing only to discover that they can't access live channels consistently. If you want to go this route, you must understand that these services expect you to appear as if you're living in the United States. Without that, buffering, blackouts, or outright blocks are common. That brings us to sports, and especially the NFL, where the rules change entirely. The NFL is the most heavily geo-restricted sports league in the world. Broadcast rights are carved up by country, platform, and even time zone. This is why simply opening the ESPN or NFL app in the Philippines doesn't give you the same experience that you'd have in the United States. Highlights are easy to find, but full games are not. The single best official option for NFL fans outside the US is NFL Game Pass International. This is a completely different product from the US version of Game Pass, and in many ways, it's actually better. In the Philippines, NFL Game Pass International gives you live regular season games, playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Super Bowl access, full replays, condensed games, and NFL Red Zone. No blackouts, no local restrictions, no guessing which games that you're allowed to watch. For serious NFL fans living abroad, this is the gold standard. Game Pass works well on laptops, tablets, smart TVs, mobile devices, and it's optimized for international streaming. The streams are stable, and the quality is consistent even on mid-range Philippine internet connections. If football matters to you, this should be your primary subscription, not an afterthought. ESPN is another major piece to the puzzle. In the Philippines, ESPN content is often split between international ESPN platforms and local cable providers. Some NFL games air locally through Philippine sports channels, but the coverage is often inconsistent and delayed. ESPN highlights, analysis shows, and talk programs are accessible through the ESPN app and YouTube channels. But live Monday Night Football coverage is often hit or miss without additional tools. This is why most expats use ESPN for analysis and Game Pass International for games. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, time zones. NFL games don't care that you're 12 or 13 hours ahead of the US. Sunday afternoon games air early Monday morning in the Philippines. Primetime games often start around 9 or 10 a.m. local time. This is where on-demand viewing becomes critical. NFL Game Pass International allows you to watch games when you wake up, spoiler-free, which is a lifesaver if you're not planning your sleep schedule around football. I certainly don't want to have to wake up at 2 a.m. just to watch the NFL. For American sports beyond the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL, the strategy is similar but more fragmented. NBA League Pass works well in the Philippines with minimal restrictions. MLB TV also functions smoothly for international viewers. NHL coverage is more limited but still accessible through league services. The common thread is this: league-run international streaming platforms are far more reliable overseas than US cable replacements. Now let's address YouTube, because this is where many people unknowingly get most of their American content. YouTube is actually one of the best tools for staying connected to US news and sports if you curate it correctly. Official channels from news networks, late-night shows, sports analysts, and NFL insiders upload daily content that isn't geo-blocked. You won't get full live games, but you will get press conferences, breakdowns, interviews, and analysis that often goes deeper than TV broadcasts. For NFL fans, channels run by former players, analysts, and beat reporters provide daily insight without restrictions. This makes YouTube a powerful supplement to Game Pass and news subscriptions. If you're already running a YouTube channel yourself, this also gives you a constant stream of reference material and trends to stay current. One mistake many expats make is trying to replicate their exact US viewing setup overseas. This almost always leads to frustration. The smarter move is to build an international-friendly stack, direct news subscriptions for information, league-run streaming services for sports, and YouTube for commentary and highlights. This combination is more stable, more affordable, and far less stressful than fighting geo-blocks every week. Another overlooked option is podcasts. U.S. news and sports podcasts are fully accessible in the Philippines and often release content faster than TV networks. Morning news podcasts, NFL recap shows, and long-form interviews are perfect for commutes, workouts, or downtime. They also avoid bandwidth issues entirely, which matters more than people realize once they're outside of major Philippine cities. Finally, let's talk about expectations. Living in the Philippines means accepting that American media isn't designed with you in mind anymore. That's not a flaw, it's just reality. Once you stop expecting everything to work the same way that it did back home and start using tools designed for international viewers, the experience improves dramatically. You'll spend less time troubleshooting and more time actually enjoying the content that you care about. The bottom line is simple. If you want American news and NFL coverage in the Philippines, don't rely on U.S. cable replacements alone. Use direct news subscriptions, NFL Game Pass International, curated YouTube content, and on-demand viewing to build a setup that works where you are, not where you used to live. Done right, you won't miss a headline, a kickoff, or a fourth quarter drive ever again. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for being with me here today. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification, and share this video. Also, remember that bell notification, because it'll make it easier for you to catch future videos. God bless, and peace out.